Yo, what's up guys? Bossa here again, and today I'm doing a little bit of different video. Today I wanted to do a breakdown review of this Tory Lanez and Toosii session. Um, this was streamed on Tory's Twitch, but on YouTube it was uploaded almost a month ago, May 31st. I saw this video a couple days ago, and there was just this one comment that caught my eye, and it was this one right here of this user June, and he pretty much said that we need the engineer's perspective of these sessions because he wastes zero time, always on point, got to see what his workflow is like. So since I'm an audio engineer myself and I've recorded artists before and I know what it's like to be in a studio session like that, I wanted to break down not the entirety of the stream, it's a 30-minute stream, but just like go over crucial parts of when he was recording Tory and Toosii and what might exactly be going through his head and his mind as he's recording these artists. Just off the fact that Tory and Toosii are very fast paced. They like when the engineer is pretty much on point with, what directions they give him, what requests they might ask of him and stuff and whatnot. So I wanted to give a little bit my own insight and my own experience on this breakdown of the studio session. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So by the way, if you haven't watched this entire 30-minute stream, I highly recommend to. This song is an absolute banger. I hope one day that they actually release it together. But let's just get to the straight point.
Yeah, know what I think? She got that, but I don't know why, baby, you got all the things, yeah. I'm on the G's playing fives on your, yeah. Toosii playing five with you, yeah. Toosii the five, yeah. Lamborghini shop won't stop when I'm in, 25 on my top, yeah. 65 on your side, yeah. What time? Hey, yo, do me a favor, John. You see where it drops, like, best friend, cash out of me where you're wasting, yeah. Just know your money where you're standing. Waiting for you if you was testing, yeah. Cash out of me for your guessing, yeah. Push you in like a distance, yeah. Hey, yo, do me a favor, John. You see where it drops, like,
down. The mic is right here, remember. So the music ain't gonna get picked up. Everybody gotta keep it down.
They said mute the outside.
The music. Yeah. Change too quick.
Y'all gotta keep it down.
Right. So, based on what we just saw, right, pretty much Tory was just asking where the music dropped. It just sounded a little bit weird. So, as an engineer, when you hear a request of anything along those lines, is obviously knowing like music structure is important first, because if Tory was saying, okay, on the drop it sounds a little bit weird and you have no idea where the beat quote unquote drops, then that's something that you have to figure out on your own, right? Usually every beat has an intro, has a 16 bar intro, 8 bar intro. Usually it's that first kick or whatever bass, whatever it may be that comes in, that's the initial drop. So Tory's asking, maybe fix it. It sounds a little bit weird, but pretty much the whole lesson of this first part is just like, okay, do I know how to identify a song when my artist says on the drop? Like, what does he mean when he says on the drop, right? So probably the first beat, like the first time the drums come in, that's probably what he means, right? And also one thing throughout this entirety of this stream is you're going to find Tory and Toosii saying one more time, one more time, one more time. As an engineer, you always want to be putting the marker of when you're recording an artist, preferably to me, in my opinion, is like 2 bars before where they want to punch in, right? This gives enough time for the artist to recognize where they're at, and then also is fast enough for them to put down their idea in their head right away, right? So this is something that I keep in mind when I'm recording artists is, okay, where are we in the song? Are there going to be any requests around this part of the song? And is my marker when I'm recording the artist close enough so that the artist doesn't feel too rushed or they're not waiting too long for their part to come in, right? So let's keep going. I'm going to fast forward a little bit because throughout Tory's part of his recording is pretty much the engineer and him going back and forth saying, one more time, or punch me in here, punch me in here. And you'll just notice that every time the engineer is putting that marker probably at the previous bar from what he recorded so that he has enough time to punch in, or like wherever Tory asks him to put, play the song at. So that's like one huge key takeaway is when you want to be a fast engineer, you want to be an efficient engineer, is you have to make sure that when you're recording an artist, put them at least like 2 bars before where they want to punch in, right? This will give the impression as an engineer and to the artist that, okay, this guy's really paying attention to where we are in the song. He's really engaged. And, when people like fast-paced engineers, and that's something that I've just come to learn in this music industry, right? So let's move on to Toosii's part. Again, this entire stream is freaking amazing, dude. But again, this engineer is Tory. I don't know who his at is. Again, if you guys know him, drop his at in the comments below. This guy's an absolute legend. He knows how to run a session properly just by off this one Twitch stream video. But yeah, let's go to Toosii's part and let's analyze it.
Shit. 3 tools. No, 7. You would take 2, 4.
Well, design for some dance, 'cause I'm looking for what you hiding. Some roses and no blue violets. I was designed for somebody who didn't need it. I was designed for somebody who didn't need it.
Right. So I want to go over 2 things. Is in the very first scene when Toosii's in the booth, he obviously asked what's his routine speed, and for those who don't know, and obviously for those that do know, he's obviously talking about autotune. So again, adjust accordingly to whatever the artist, or in this case Toosii, whatever his retune speed, adjust the settings and everything, right? And then the second thing I want to point out is, notice how when Toosii's part came in, the engineer let the beat play a little bit to see, like, obviously to let Toosii find his flow, to let him find his rhythm. But notice how he automatically restarted from where he wanted to be punched in. And he didn't wait on Toosii to say, all right, play me back one more time, right? Because eventually, like, over time, like, throughout the session, throughout the song in general, the artist is gonna get tired of saying one more time. So, like, initially the goal is to be able to catch when the artist wants to be punched back in without them having to say so, right? And man, like, doing that is honestly one of the most efficient things to learn as an engineer. And honestly, it's something that I feel like maybe it's my own experience, but maybe not a lot of engineers know about this trick. But like, when you learn that, and when you learn how to do that with an artist, the artist just loves to work with you. They love to just choose you as a recording engineer just because like their own process of recording a song, if that makes sense, right? And again, to these artists that, like, super experienced, like Tory and Toosii, they're most likely worked with so many engineers, been in too many studio sessions to the point where if you're not fast enough to their pace, it's like, get out of the seat and I'm gonna get my own engineer, right? So that's the whole point of me trying to explain this type of things, is you want to be able to catch and just be aware of when the artist is trying to work in a faster environment, right? Understanding your artist as an engineer is going to make you a better engineer. And that's just because when you understand their workflow, when you understand how they like to record, it's going to make them trust you. It's going to make them, more comfortable in the booth. And that's the whole point of having a good chemistry between your engineer and the artist, is that chemistry, man, is like super important. Without the artist feeling comfortable, if the artist is like, complaining all the time, like, why does my autotune sound like this? Or like, can you punch me in closer? Can you punch me in closer? Blah, 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 right? You don't want to irritate the artist. You want to make the artist feel like, they're at home, they're comfortable, like things are smooth and running, you know what I'm saying? So this is like, again, just a huge key takeaway when I was watching this entire stream and thinking of that perspective of the engineer, just always on point, always listening to every single request, and he's fast, so this will probably be the end of the video just because I didn't want to go entirely too deep with this stream. And again, you guys can watch it for yourself. I'll probably link it in the description. But key takeaways, guys, is when you want to be fast, first, know your Pro Tools or whatever DAW you're using. Know your shortcuts, right? It's one of the biggest things that I feel like every engineer needs to know is shortcuts, right? So that's the first thing, shortcuts. Second thing is put that marker when you're recording an artist, like, again, 2 bars before they want to punch in, just so the artist recognizes where they are in the song, and that gives them enough time to punch in what they want to say, right? Again, it depends on the artist. It'll always vary time to time, but when you're working with experienced artists like Tory and Toosii, they're most likely, like I said, fast paced, so you want to be on top of their workflow. You want to match their workflow, right? So that's two things. I guess the third thing is like knowing how to record an artist using a proper recording template, right? If this engineer were to share his screen, and I can almost guarantee he's using Pro Tools, there's most likely a template that Tory uses or Toosii uses for the way he wants to record. So in that case, familiarize yourself with that template, right? Understand what each plugin does, understand what autotune does, understand what, whatever the reverb that Toosii might like or Tory might like, right? To me, like, what I would take away from this video is knowing how to punch in closer and knowing your shortcuts, because the whole comment of what was mentioned here, this person pretty much said he wastes zero time, and the only way to get there is really just by knowing your shortcuts, knowing your template, and knowing your artist, right? Those are like the three biggest key takeaways of when I want to study this session, right? But yeah, guys, I hope what I said in this video is making sense. I definitely think if you're an engineer, if you're a recording engineer, this video is something that it's awesome to watch in general if you love music. But two, if you're a person that is very critique-ish and you like getting better, you want to evolve as an engineer, this is a video that I highly recommend studying. And just not even paying attention to Toosii and Tory, but pay attention to the engineer and how he works. Like, this is probably the state that I want to eventually get into, is like super fast. Any request that the artist says, I get it done within seconds, so stuff like that is what's going to make people want to keep working with you, artists want to keep locking in with you, right? But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. If you found this very educative or you found this kind of cool or different, let me know what you think about these type of videos. I definitely want to just start cranking out more audio engineering type of videos, so in the near future you can definitely expect that. But yeah, guys, that's it for now. And again, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, comment down below if you have any questions, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.